Welcome back to All We Do Is Talk podcast. Here with me, Eric. How you doing, Eric?
What's going on?
All right. First of all, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you like the content. Also, interact with us in the comment section. Interact with us on our socials. We like the discussion. Today, we're going to talk about these dog days of summer for the MLB season. Season's winding, hitting the home stretch right here. We're going to breeze through how we feel about how people have come out of the trade deadline now that we've seen a couple weeks of new faces and new places playing. A lot of things have changed up since our last video on baseball from the post-trade deadline, but a lot of interesting stuff going on in the league. How you feeling about it, Eric?
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of rises and falls in the league. The second half, you've either been hot or you've been not winning games. So it's been very interesting to watch some teams rise.
Which is, it's actually not that surprising because usually around this time is when we see there's two times where the better teams separate from the worst teams. That pre-trade deadline month period before the trade deadline,
Yeah,
where
like July.
where the guys where you find out who's selling, who will be buying. And then really the second time is after that month period, that month after the trade deadline, where you see how these new deals and new teams have shaped up. And then you see the last bit of separation created between the good teams and the bad teams, where I think the first place we'll start is in the AL East, where we see our Yankees are surging and
Oh, yeah.
moving up the division race, while the Boston Red Sox, who were surprisingly out ahead early on, have come back down to earth a little bit to be nice. And Tampa Bay's even slowed down a little bit too, which is for us, love to see it.
I mean,
Great play from the guys who have brought in. We've seen Mr. Rizzo has been on fire before he had to go to the IL for COVID problems or the COVID list, whatever they're calling that. And Gallo, who's picked it up recently the last few days.
yeah. Being able to go, I was there for the Brett Gardner walk-off game. That was pretty exciting. Sadly, that means Brett Gardner is going to be playing more, but I'll take the W either way. Start coming back from the second half, we were around 9 games, 8-9 games out from the division. Now we're 6, so it's flipped from who is ahead of us pretty much. The Rays have surged to 4 games over the Red Sox, which is insane because they had a massive lead going into the All-Star game, going into the All-Star break. And the Yankees are finally they're hitting without having to hit home runs. Like the 11-inning game last night, Aaron Judge just poking one to right field because he knew that second run in the extra inning games are so crucial, because with a guy on second base, no outs in the MLB, 98% of the time that run needs to score. So any run you can get above 1 in extra innings, that's when your odds shift heavily into your favor. So it was great to see that. The Rays.
I was upset that the bulk situation from the game last night that got the runner around to tie the game to get it into extras. Disappointed that it had to go that way, but
yeah, that
of course,
ticky tack for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those are always annoying when they call.
Yeah,
Excuse me, when they call that. But it's
of course,
surprising.
Aaron. Yeah, go ahead.
But it's so surprising for the Rays to be surging like they are with losing Tyler Glass now, and who was their premier ace, and they're 8-2 in their last 10. So are the Yankees 8-2. Meanwhile, the Red Sox are 2-8. So
what the slogan for Tampa Bay, they're just doing different math. They just whatever they're doing over there is just better.
Toronto, and Toronto is right behind the Yankees. Toronto's only a game back of the Yankees, and it's the Rays, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays. All 3 of them are 8-2 in their last 10, while the Red Sox are 2-8. So they all 3 have taken advantage of this cold streak from Boston.
Yeah, I told you to watch out. I was always high on Toronto, and they're getting a little bit healthier, getting some more they're getting more used to their lineups and their guys that are playing more, and they're getting more effective. So that's scary because they're right on our tail too. But
Yeah,
The
but
way
the
this is
Yankees
looking,
are just the
I
Yankees
think
have
they're,
injuries. The
yeah, the
Yankees with
injuries are
Rizzo
ridiculous.
on COVID-19. Glaber just got put on the. They say he's going to be out like 10 to 20 games.
Chapman.
Chapman, I was listening to John Boy, and they said that his isn't like his elbow. It's not nothing serious. It's just like one of their here take a 10-day break, which I think they're using the COVID list for, but whatever. Gary's on COVID-19, so like thankfully we have this Royal Series, not a tough opponent, so uh, we're able to scratch that one off. So just win one of these last two, take the series, and move on to the Field of Dreams game. But let's move on to the next and most interesting division we have, the NL East, where the Mets have absolutely collapsed. They can't hit. They can't seem to manufacture runs at the moment. It seems like their whole season took a turn when DeGrom got hurt. It seems like the wind got taken out of their sails, where it was like, damn, we don't have our guy going every fifth day. So they had a 4-game lead at the beginning of August, and now they are down 2.5 games. The Phillies have jumped them to get the 2.5 game lead, and the Braves, without Acuna, have jumped them too, and they're a game.
Yeah, they've been winning games. That's so
Yeah,
crazy that the
they
Braves
traded
have
for
picked
Josh
it up
Peterson.
somehow.
They did some other moves, and they're right back in the thick of it now. This is probably the division that you would have predicted there was probably going to be a change because of how
Crappy all the
the
teams are.
Mets didn't take advantage of the other teams not doing well to create a huge lead. So they had to keep the pedal to the metal. Like, so if they could have gotten up more while the other teams were struggling, this could be different. But Bryce Harper has become an MVP candidate over the last 10 games. Bring up my man Mike Adams. He will solve the bullpen issues you have in Philly. But yeah, I think Philly's gonna go with this division. I think they're gonna take it over. I love Didi at shortstop. Bryce Harper. When Bryce Harper's hitting, he is easily a top 5 player in the league. When Bryce Harper's doing Bryce Harper things, and it's another. This is exactly another case where Phillies have gone 8-2. I think they've won 8. They had like a 7-game win streak in that stretch, and the Mets have gone 2-8, and the Braves have gone 7-3, and that's pretty much the difference between them. So
Yeah,
it's pretty much going to be whoever ends the season hot, like with an 8-2 stretch in September, is who's going to win this division. And I think the Phillies are going to be the team to do it.
oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Which team do you think is going to come out? Because I don't know how Atlanta's fought back, and I don't know why the Mets have fought. I knew the Mets would suffer from the DeGrom injury. I just didn't imagine that. It also doesn't help that isn't their shortstop still hurt?
Lindor?
Lindor, is he back yet?
Uh, I don't know if he's back completely, but like even like Javi Baez should be producing anyway. Like, you traded for him, and he's been struggling since. I mean, Lindor hasn't even been great anyway. He's hitting 228, 11 home runs, and he had a really slow start to the year. So I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
but
definitely having a
with
down year for his first year as a
with
Met.
DeGrom going out, it's not helpful when DeGrom and Lindor is out because that's
Yeah.
their team. Those are the best 2 players on their team. So that's not good, especially since Philly's still healthy. Like, Philly's just been underachieving. Like, this
Yeah.
division has like the Mets and A's have been hurt, but Philly's just been underachieving. So hopefully they get Bryce Harper to keep playing like he is, because when he is good, he's one of those guys that'll give you lots of production. Any other division you want to move on to next in particular?
I mean, dude, I'm still baffled at this NL West, man. I think I'm turning into Giants are going to win this division, man. I don't know what Buster Posey has put in the water there, but they just win, dude. They're 30 games over 500. 30. No one had that. It's just insane. Like losing Madison Bumgarner, like no one really thought that the Giants were going to be anywhere, and it's insane that they're at this point. So yeah, I'm probably going to be hopping on the band. I don't know about their playoff success, like what they're going to be in the playoffs, but as of right now, man, I think they have like a 99.9% chance to make the playoffs. Like they're a lock, and that's just nuts. And the Padres are falling without Tatis.
Yeah, that's scaring me a little. I think all three teams are going to make the playoffs in this division.
I mean, probably the Reds are only 4 games back of the Padres. Yeah, 4. The Padres are 65 and 49, and the Reds are 61 and 52.
Yeah, I mean, that next we got to talk about the fact that Joey Votto is just he's
insane. He's psycho.
Yeah, he's beating Father Time because man, he's been around.
But he also believes that Altuve wasn't wearing a wire because he says if someone says they didn't do it, you have to believe it. So.
But yeah, I mean, wild card wise for the NL West, they probably get all the 3 teams will probably get in.
Yeah, if Tatis can come back healthy, absolutely, like they'll be fine. But I mean, the Reds are hot. I mean, I don't know the rest of the Padres schedule, but if they're playing the Dodgers any more amount of times, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah, that's tough. The problem is the division's so tough that's how another team can sneak in, like the Cincinnati Reds or even the Mets or Atlanta, and they can like steal a wild card spot because they're playing teams
I think it's really only the Reds are the only ones that really have a chance. I mean, you have the Braves only 57 wins.
They're only 3.5 games back out of Cincinnati, so 7 games back of San Diego, and there's like full like the rest of August, so three
and September.
3 more weeks of August, September. How deep are they going into September? Usually, is it until the mid September?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if their schedule has been impacted, if they're on a regular schedule this year. I can't recall.
Yeah, they're on a 462. But yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm banking on all the NL West the 3 top NL West teams pulling it out and all making the playoffs. Probably,
yeah, man.
In my opinion.
I thought I put in a bet for the Padres to win the World Series when I thought they were getting Max Scherzer. So I hope they get it done and at least give me a chance.
Yeah, I'd be sad. It'd be sad for the MLB if the Padres didn't make the playoffs. That's a lot of money. Yeah, that would be pretty sad. So, how about
MVPs?
I mean, has it changed in the AL? Shohei has probably got that locked up as you predicted in our post-trade deadline preview.
Yeah, he's minus 850. So take that as you will. But Vladdy is plus 650. I mean, I think that's really the only other competitor.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, like that's a guy I believe is the only other guy that has a chance. But like, I think you brought up that they'd have to make the playoffs for him to even get thought of to get close. Like, you said minus 850.
Yeah, Shohei is.
That sounds like that's a lot. That unless somebody else starts pitching and hitting, you got no chance really because he's got the homer production and he's pitching every 5 days. So, yeah. Good on for him.
In the National League, Tatis is still the favorite. He's plus 100 right now. And then Bryce Harper's plus 270. And then Max Muncy and Trey Turner. So the Nationals traded a top 4 MVP candidate.
I mean, Tatis has been out with this injury. That's really ideal. He was the MVP of the NL this year, in my opinion. But Bryce Harper's showing me something. He's playing really good. And Joey Votto's been really good.
Joey Votto's plus 5,500. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6th on the list.
He's 6th.
And if they jump to make the playoffs, and it's because of him, he could very well slingshot him in there.
Yeah. Any opinions for Cy Young wise? I think we got not Shohei for Cy Young. We got in the NL, the Cy Young's been mixed up because injuries to DeGrom. I don't think he's gonna get it now anymore.
Yeah, but like in the American League, Lance Lynn is the favorite on FanDuel at minus 175. And then you have Carlos Rondon. Damn, they have two White Sox guys.
Yeah,
Two
I mean
White Sox guys.
they're dominating their division. They're also
Yeah.
in a very poor division.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. But Garrett Cole is third with plus 400. But that's now.
Remember when last video we had, he was still a favorite, and we were still wondering how
How
the hell that was possible.
Yeah.
I don't really. This is the year where someone's gonna win a AL Cy Young, and you're like, yeah, that guy won a Cy Young. But yeah. Cool. Wow. How did he win a Cy Young?
The White Sox guy, it's like 06. So you shoved against the Tigers, the Twins, the Royals, who are all brutal.
How about that NL Cy Young? What's it looking like for betting favorites right now? Because
Zach Wheeler is the favorite at plus 160. Then you have Walker Buehler at plus 370. Brandon Woodruff of the Brewers at plus 500. So this one's definitely more wide open. DeGrom's falling all the way to plus 2,500.
Yeah, he's out of the race now.
Yeah.
Wheeler's still on the Mets, or where's he play for?
He's on the Phillies.
Phillies. I don't know how good he's doing. Walker Buehler. I know Walker Buehler is clearly the most talented guy of the guys on that top three that you ranked out. But I mean, I do think that the guy in Milwaukee is having a good season. I've watched a couple of his games.
Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah, the pitching is lackluster this year. That's just really showing how lackluster the pitching really is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Lastly, I think the last topic I wanted to talk about baseball-wise is playoff expansion. We saw the report that they're looking to expand the playoffs. How do you feel about that?
I don't.
I think we have differing opinions.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna be on the pro side of this, but no, man. Like I think it has the importance of the regular season to a point. Going like, all right, this is why we play 162 games, so we know who the best teams are by the end. So we don't need 14 teams in it because we play so many games. If you're good enough, you'll be in the playoffs.
So while I think 14 might be excessive, because you don't want to – I think the NBA – we clearly know the NBA allows too many teams because it's usually two teams at the bottom of each conference. That's just – they don't really belong there. But if I'm being honest, looking at the standings, there's always a above 500 team that's clearly a good team that misses the cut. Like, if Cincinnati misses out on the playoffs this year, just looking at the standings, like, that's sad because they're 61 and 52. Is that not and they've had a good season. They've got Joey Votto. I mean, I'm never against getting more of your better players into the playoffs. Like, I want to see Joey Votto in the playoffs. And, like, if Atlanta or the Mets, they're currently outside of the race. If Atlanta or the Mets were good and healthy, like, I want to see Lindor and I want to see Baez in the playoffs. I want to see Acuna if Atlanta was still healthy. Because that means they'd probably be fighting with Philly. I want to see Bryce Harper in the playoffs. So, like, looking at this, the league has got so much talent dispersed throughout the league that I feel like NL-wise, it looks like the NL is loaded with teams. So, like, it works there. It shifts throughout the years. But AL-wise, I mean, the problem is the AL. I mean, you don't want to see the Yankees in Toronto in the playoffs. They're having good season right now.
Your biggest point is that bad man in LA. That's your biggest point. Because he has never been to he's been in the playoffs once.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the problem is they're not even close to the race. But, like, yeah, like
500.
They're 500. But, like, yeah, if there was more teams in the playoffs, then you won't have a big selling firestorm at the trade deadline when teams realize, oh, yeah, we're clearly not going to be a top 5 team, win our division, or be a top 5 team in the league. And so we're selling everything. So that's my only positive. Now, I think baseball-wise, 6 with a, like, NFL type of 2 teams get a bye and, like, a first-round wild card 3-game series, 5 games if you really want to be greedy. You know these leagues love to be greedy. Will be just suffice. 14, I got to see how they did it, but I enjoyed the 16-team playoffs last year. I'm surprised they didn't find them. They're probably going to fight for that at the CBA, and they'll probably give up some stuff in the CBA negotiations if the players agree to the 16-team playoffs.
I
So
mean,
that's
yeah,
kind
they'll
of
probably agree to more money.
yeah. I mean, who doesn't want money's? When we see the problem with sports is that it's still a business, and so as much as you like to just enjoy the game, there's still money to be made here, and I'm never mad at anybody when there's money. Try to make money at
Never.
all. Anything else for today you want to bring up?
No. Go check out go watch a Yankees Field of Dreams game. I think they'll be this coming up weekend, so those will be a pretty cool sight to see.
All right. Also, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, interact. That's the four big ones right there, everybody. If y'all enjoy the content, see y'all next time. All right.